sound went absolutely crazy. Can you hear me?
Did it? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay. Oh, we're live. We're
Okay.
live. Okay, hang on a second. Let's let some people get in here. Yeah, I'm excited too to talk about. Well, we're going to talk about what we always talk about, but I'm excited that I saw the pictures of your wedding, and y'all
Thank
look.
you.
There's just a lot of good energy.
Yeah, yeah, there is. There definitely is.
And I hadn't seen pictures of your husband until I saw those pictures because I was looking for a new picture to put up for the post. And
Oh, yeah.
hang on, we're having a problem. But yeah, y'all looked like, oh my god, like everything you talked about with him, I could see in his face. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like his face is like he's like a knight in shining armor, man.
He is.
He
He
is. I
is.
looked at his face, and I didn't have it in my conscious thought what you had told us about him. But whenever I looked at his face, all that stuff came back. I was like, oh my God, she's right. You could see who he is. I mean, it was so, and in every picture, that energy was there. All right, let me
Oh,
pull it up
thank you.
and
So
see.
nice.
Well, it's the truth. All right, so here we go. All right, we got Monique Hendry's in the house, Cleo's in the house, Amanda Henning, Beth Budlash, Mary Cooper, Kathy Waldowski, Heather Nielsen, Lorenzo Conte. He's over in I think near Atlantic City. He's a DJ. He's pretty cool
Oh,
dude.
right.
Yeah, if you
Cool.
ever get down that way, Asbury Park, if you ever get down that way, I think he's got a studio over there. I
Oh,
tried to
right.
hook up with him, but I was moving too fast. Let me just share let me share this through the group associate groups real quick. Hey, Tom White Bear, we just had a really cool show just a second ago with Sherry Matson. It was very cool. It's so cool to meet all different kinds of people who basically had the same experience. You know,
Wow.
the dark nights and the being called crazy and all that. If these shows resonate with you, please share. When we start doing these shows back to back, Facebook kind of suppresses us. So if y'all wouldn't mind just sharing it to your page or to a group. And thank you all for your continued love, support, and contributions that allowed us to be here. And we're continuing to expand and move closer to launching our website and our independent streaming. We've got really all the bugs worked out. We're just doing some final stuff on the website. So it's going to be coming fairly soon. And we're excited about that. And in the meantime, we're going to expand our capabilities. This is the third from the last show we'll do through the Be Live app. We're going to be using a combination of broadcast software and Zoom as we did on the last show beginning tomorrow. So that'll be really cool because we could be talking to our guests like Natalie, and we could put on a video of her new music video that she was filming yesterday live if anybody didn't see it, or anything else, pulling in all kinds of stuff in a much more professional way than this application allows us to. So thank you for hearing me out. Thank you, Natalie Gauci, for coming back to Soul Speaks 5D. This is our third time together to share space. The
Yeah.
first time she turned into her higher self and jumped in front of my face. The second time, I don't remember what happened. Everything went, it was like I got hit in the nose and everything went white. But it's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your fairy tale romance and wedding and your very long honeymoon.
Yes, it was long. We actually delayed our honeymoon, so we didn't go for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
So we
okay.
had like a week, a week 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And where did y'all go? Where did y'all go?
So we just went to Orlando,
Oh
Florida.
yeah.
Yeah. We'd never been to this place before, and it was just a
Mhm.
random spam phone call that I got one day, and it was just such a good deal. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take it. So we had it like in the bank, and then decided to use it for our honeymoon. So it was so good. It was definitely, we needed it.
Did you get to meet Mickey Mouse?
No, I'm not really into that whole thing.
I'm not either, but that's the biggest part of Orlando. Although Orlando's got a lot of different stuff going on there, and even in Florida, if you can drive a little bit, there's all kinds of cool holy
Yeah, we
places,
went. We went
portals.
to the beach, and there was like a
Yeah.
live band playing on the beach. Like it was all
Wow.
salsa music. So we were like dancing on the sand. It was very
Yeah.
romantic. It was really
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. So we didn't really do the touristy stuff.
Yeah. Did you have any any divine episodes while you were there? Anything interesting happen?
Yeah, well, I'm actually got some more news for you. I'm
Mhm.
having a baby.
Oh my God. I've been wondering if I'm going to have one. My stomach's been sticking out more and more. Yeah. So you're having a baby. Oh, by the
So,
way.
yeah, by the way, so
Uh-oh.
this has been brewing for about 13 weeks. And it's at that stage where we can actually like tell people about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're telling our families and everything this weekend. So like our immediate family know,
Uh-huh.
and so now we're going to expose it. And I've never been pregnant before, and being a spiritual person and a spiritual healer, being pregnant has totally messed up my game completely. Like I've started questioning everything about my life and what is spirituality and what is sexuality and what is all the purpose of everything. Like my hormones are going absolutely crazy, and I don't know what is really spiritual and what is my
Uh-huh.
hormones. And so I'm like going through a really huge change in my life, like a massive transformation. And
Wow.
so I haven't done drumming, to be honest, for nearly 3 weeks. I haven't done any drumming. I've been focusing on my website. I've written all these courses. So I've had all this information come to me about these courses.
Hmm.
And so I finally got my website finished about, a week ago now. And I haven't done anything since. It's just been like focusing on going to medical appointments. It's like learning about what the matrix is all about. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
learning about that.
Yeah. Somebody put up a post yesterday and they said something to the effect is of to bypass the human is to basically alter the truth of your experience. In other words, we can't disengage from being human. Like I always say, the human is the
Yeah.
hero. So
Yeah.
to me, it sounds like some type of really powerful and earned integration of that human and the physical with what you're pulling up, pulling down from, so
Right.
to speak, from the ethers. And it's like I can see it. You're you're
Right.
you're in joy, and
Yeah, I am.
joy is creating a maybe I don't know a wider, more substantial 0 point, and it's a
That's
beautiful
right.
thing.
It's
It's a beautiful
like
thing.
when I was spiritual before, I was more like up in the ethos as opposed to being in my
Mm.
body and feeling earthly and feeling human and more like what a man feels, I guess. I'm feeling more like what a masculine feeling is
Yeah,
as a feminine woman. And
yeah.
it's really awesome. Like I love it. It's like I'm now understanding how guys feel.
Well, I'm glad you think it's awesome. I felt like it was a bitch. It was a bitch for a long time.
Right. Well, I think guys have a lot to offer and a lot to, like,
It's
it's a feeling of being earth, like being in the
yeah,
ground and
yeah,
feeling physical things.
yeah.
And we as spiritual people search, and I can only really speak for myself and people that I've worked with, but we're all searching for this like feeling outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
And until we can integrate that feeling that we have, that's like that external higher self with God, and then what we have ourselves physically in our bodies, and then what we do physically, like just even paying our bills. And I've never been to so many medical appointments in my life. Like I never go to the doctors because I don't need to. So it's like I'm getting tests done for everything. And
Yeah.
I'm just, they ask me, have I been to the doctors? And I'm like, no, I haven't. I've been healing myself. I've been working on my own thing. And it's crazy. Like I feel like I'm in another world. I don't know where I am right
Yeah.
now.
Well, that's interesting though. That's interesting because what you were saying about the organic or the earthly, and
Yeah.
then the comment about the matrix, it's actually kind of three. Yeah, really, it's more or
Yes.
less three streams of experience or consciousness. Yeah, it reminds me of I went through what I realize now was the blessing of probably a couple hundred seizures from 15 to about 50, and I always, they would always pretty much happen the same from what I could remember. A couple, two, three times I was out of body and that type of thing. But the bottom line is when it started, I got shot out of my body basically every time. And
Wow.
but what I always remember the most about it is that when when I return to consciousness, I would have to say that to me is like the most intense grounding feeling I've ever had. It's not a feeling of heavy density, but it's definitely not the higher aspects, but it's like it literally, I could smell the earth. Like I was laying on the earth, or I was the
Yeah.
soil or something, and it would last for, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, but that's what what your story reminds me of.
Yeah.
I guess, in a different way, but
It
to me,
does.
that's
It does
yeah,
feel like that. And, the whole like 3 months, the first 3 months of a pregnancy, for me, it was like, I'm like, should I still be a spiritual person? Like, or should I just be focusing on what everyone else focuses on as being a parent? Because like everyone has the parent program,
mhm,
we're all taught like the parent program now.
yeah,
So where does spirituality come into the parent program? And, there's this thing called hypnobirthing, which I've started like researching about. And it's all about breathing. It's like when I do the drumming, I'm doing the counting of the breath, I'm doing the counting of the breathing. So I'll get given the counting numbers to do with a certain rhythm. And I haven't been doing that either. So it's like my body has stopped doing what it wants to do and is completely focusing energy on completely different things. So now
wow,
I've got to refocus myself back into what I did, but in a new way. So it's
yeah.
like finding a new energy to do my healing and to do the things that I now am going to go and do in a whole new way. So I feel like I'm reborn and I'm
Yeah.
rebirthing right now,
Re, re, rebirthing is a huge buzzword right now.
Right, okay.
It really is. I mean, it's like, and then you got Easter coming up,
Yeah,
so that's
true.
resurrection, rebirth. But it sounds like you're expanding the multidimensionality of another integration of polarities. We think of polarities a lot of time as light and dark, and good and bad and all that, but polarities is at the ultimate is our higher aspects in this physical experience, and you're kind of like in the middle there. And to top things off, you've got a universe in your belly. So,
Exactly. And I can feel her guides. I can
oh wow,
feel like, things that she's saying to me. And and I'm thinking, am I tripping out? Like, is this real? Because
mm,
when I do this for other people, I know straight away what it is. It comes through. But now it's because it's me, my mind is like starting to chatter. And I'm usually really good at stilling my mind and relaxing my mind. But now I'm like, is this real? Are my thoughts happening? Like, why am I doubting? Why am I questioning things? Why am I
wow.
fearing things? All the things that I've been helping people do, like I'm now finding a new way for myself to heal. So,
I won't. I was going to say, I wonder if, because that sounds like what people call like the monkey mind or whatever, the ego
yeah,
mind. But
yes,
I wonder if because so much of the stuff that's happening to all of us, new things are coming into our awareness, our experience, and it does cause a little bit of that. It's a
yeah,
challenge a little bit to the ego. But I wonder if your bodies or part of your aspects, more at the human level, are hearing a different voice or voices like her team and her voice itself, and that's what's causing you to say, what the hell's going on
it
here?
is. It causes this fire inside of me to just do things I would never do, you know,
Yeah.
and say things I would never say, and
Oh
just
my
to go
god.
out and do like risky things, things that I've always wanted to do in my life that I never had the balls to do them, you know. So like I've got this single coming out next month, and I'm actually investing money into it, and I'm putting it out
Wow.
like commercially. And I've
Yeah.
collaborated with a guy who's a DJ called Thomas Godell, who's awesome, and he's remixed my track, and it's very commercial. It's something I would never do. I
Wow.
used to always like say I'm not going commercial. I want to be soul, but for some reason I'm enjoying the process of doing something I'd
Yeah.
never do before.
Yeah.
And so that's taken a lot of my time,
Yeah.
and it's just physical things. I guess it's 3D things, but not. I don't really know how to explain it. And it's like I was doing a meditation with Ryan the other day, And because I haven't been sleeping, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't go back to sleep. And I'm like, should I wake up and just do things? Like, are we supposed to wake up before the sunrise? Or is this just because I'm pregnant? You know, it's like, is this what we're supposed to do? And is this what I'm supposed to tell people because I'm a spiritual healer? Or is this because I'm having a baby right now?
Right.
You know,
right.
so.
Oh my God. My God.
So this is what I'm going through. I'm going through this mind battle with my body at the moment. And I went to speak to someone about it today, and I didn't realize that I was going to be all emotional and upset. But, you know, she said to me that I'm going through anxiety because you know, it's my first time having a baby, and she's like, you're doing great. She said, tell yourself that you're doing great. And now it's time to like get into a routine and just do what you need to do, even if you feel tired. And I said, so if I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, should I just stay awake? And she's like, yeah. She said, just stay awake. Just do what you need to do. Get yourself in a routine to do that every morning, every night. And I guess like with my work and with Ryan's work, he works full time. And so for me, whenever he's available, I make myself available. So I'm like on his routine more than I'm on my own. Yeah. And so now I've got to make my own routine, and it's almost like I've got to restart every single thing now and reprogram and set that button and say, right, it's time to make some decisions and stick to it no matter what.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. And I love that thing that we were saying, you're doing things, risky things and such.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that old adage of, what is it when you have a kid that is exactly like you? You know, you get repaid for your
right.
for your pastor. I've got like 4 of them like that.
4 like you?
No, I wouldn't say there's 4 like me. I think there's well, no, as far as like, you know, causing a little bit of grief because they were a little wild like you were, I was, probably 3.
Right.
So far, we still got some time to judge on a couple of them, but yeah. And the other thing too is now, so I get that what you're saying too. I love this because the micro aspect to the collective aspect, as goes the individual, so goes the human. So as I'm looking at the energy of what you're talking about, I see that energy in a lot of people's lives, which is in your case, you're taking in, you know, you're carrying the universe and all that brings, and you're merged with another soul, actually full time, and her team. And then you've just got married. So you're cohabitating with somebody. And then you've got the schedules changing. So you've got like this multidimensional integration of polarities going, where you're coming in with a 0 point that is your baseline, that's new and more magical, basically. Like you said, whatever you do, I love that what you said. What you do, you stick with it. And you know, I've had some personal frustrations with that recently with like developing the team. Developing with the team Soulogy, but you know, there's something about what's happening right now that you take these steps, you push the button, you walk through these things, because even at a human level, if it's quote unquote not the right thing to do or whatever, the universe is going to give you back what you put in.
Exactly.
If your heart's intention is stepping through that fire, if it's stepping through it, even if it doesn't make sense, don't listen to all that bullshit. And just do it.
It's time to. Sorry, you keep going.
No, I was just I get like a preacher, but
no, it's good.
Don't wait till all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. F that. Just do it, because what I'm seeing is, and what I've lived is, the universe gives you back, it reciprocates what the heart's putting out. And if your heart says go do this and it's crazy, it doesn't make sense, whatever the case is, you know, like a lot of things I've done, which I don't have the money, but go do it, you know, it comes right back, you know. And so thank you for letting me go off.
That's all right. I think to add to that, it's about just stepping out of our comfort zones and doing the things that make us uncomfortable and following our dreams. the things that we always want to do, like we're never too old, or no matter if we have children or, you know, they're just adding to the
aiming that
fun.
at me? Are you aiming that age?
No, I'm not. I just, even for me, like when I was when I was 25, I'm like, oh my God, I'm too old for the music industry, you know, and now I'm 37 and I'm still releasing music, and I never thought that I would be. Yeah. So it's like, and the other thing I've realized too, to talk about relationships, because I've been doing a lot of writing about sex and relationships, and it always seems to be that what I'm learning about it is we all have like a masculine and a feminine side. Mm-hmm. And so if we don't balance our masculine and feminine during our meditations and our chakras, then what happens is we rely on our partners, or even if we don't have a partner, we rely on somebody in an emotional relationship that fills the void of the masculine or the feminine. Yeah. So it's like you will feel it in your body. You know, like I was feeling my right side of my body, which is the masculine side, weaker. My arm was weaker. So I had to say to myself, okay, I need to not disconnect, but I need to move away and just pull away to get myself back into balance so that I can train my masculine side. Because as a woman, or if you've got a lot of feminine energy in you, because even a lot of men can have lots of feminine energy, if you're relying on the male energy to be your partner, then you're not going to fulfill yourself and happiness in yourself. And that affects the relationship. It really does.
You know, that's very true. I never thought about that. I never put it in those type of words. I've heard something similar that Morgan told me when she met me, which was, I looked at you and thought, what the hell am I doing here? But then she said, if that's my divine masculine, then I have to accept everything in him. But if I look back based on what you said, there was a time when I came off the streets and I had my two youngest with me, and they were both girls. They were 13, 14, but they were young women, you know, and that energy was running around the house, and I was like, clash, 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 clash. And I was attacking the feminine. And about this time I had met Morgan, and I was, you know, on this path of integration with the divine feminine, a very long one. But what I'm getting at is that I did start to understand that what I was projecting on, and a lot of this I learned too in my relationship with Morgan, I would act out or project on that aspect of me, which is her in the physical, but really not. It's me.
It's you.
So then I started to say, okay, that's not that, it's this, it's me. So you know, where's that healing need to take place?
So the question I have for you is, how did you recognize that you were doing that? How did you realize it was you?
Well, I think, you know, when I was with my little girls, I recognized it because they told me.
Don't you love that?
I think, yeah, I had this weekly thing on a Friday night, you know, because I'm doing Soulogy, I cook, clean, wash, all that stuff, you know, which is great, and I love doing it. And then they would come home from school, and every Friday, because they wouldn't clean the bathroom, they wouldn't do anything, they wouldn't nothing. I mean, there would be women's, you know, stuff in the, oh my God. So anyway, every Friday I would sit them in the kitchen and I would pace back and forth, and I would go into that masculine father routine, and I would yell and scream and raise my voice and kick things. And after about 4 or 5 of those, and they're looking at me like, okay, you know, and in other words, they were just putting it back on me. And then the other part I learned, I think, was just in being in a relationship like with Morgan, where you project, and then, you know, you take a little breath and you walk away and like, oh shit, you know, I did it again. But instead of, you know, because that's the fact, that's what I went through. What I went through was kind of like deprecating myself, projecting on a partner or the other person, my daughter, whoever it was, and then bringing it back. But this time when I brought it back, it was like, you know, you don't need to beat yourself up. You need to find that piece of you and hug it and hold it and listen to it. And kind of like, that's how I describe it.
That's awesome. That's really good. That's I mean, that's how it works, really. I feel like the other thing also that came up too was the sacral chakra. So a lot around the hip areas, and not just for me, but also for Ryan. So we're both going through a sacral chakra healing at the moment. Yeah.
Weren't you talking about that the last time we talked? You were just getting into,
we were just about, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
We were kind of just on the cuff of it. And
yeah, I'd love to talk about that. I want to ask you first about Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, for letting us know who you are. I'd love to have y'all on one day if you.
Yeah, he'd love to be on.
Oh, he would. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. Now, you said you meditate with him.
Yeah.
Is he as locked into this as you are?
No, he's not.
That's what I was going to get.
Yeah, he's not. He started off doing meditation before me, but he was doing like those guided headspace kind of things. And when he did my meditations, it was only then that he said, wow, now I really understand what real meditation is. And so he started to get deeper into it, and he did a couple of my courses actually.
Really?
And then, this is a really amazing story. This is an amazing story, but I'll tell you because we have some time. So anyway, we were dating for 3 months, and while I was in America the first time, and I was really, really focused on my spiritual healing. I was doing about 6 hours a day, every day. Wow. And I was growing and growing into this connection. I wanted to know every information that I got, I just dedicated myself to writing it down, recording it, going live, and committed myself to it while I was here. And Ryan was very attracted to me and also to that. So he says to me that his way of getting to me and getting connected to me was to understand my spirituality and what I'm doing. So that's why he did it. That was his motivation, I guess, to get started. And I don't think he realized what he was getting into.
I was just going to say, as you're saying that, that sounds like my perspective or my experience with Morgan, because I'd never met anyone who was talking like she was, yet I understood everything she was saying, yet I did, you know what I mean? So it was the attractiveness that was part of it, like he was saying, basically. The reason I was asking you that is because I was just wondering if there was that, and I assumed that there was. There's always the polarities, right? But I wonder how long it's going to be before he feels like Darren on Bewitched, that old series,
Well, I've got a prediction about what's going to happen to Ryan, but but basically he's probably going to become more spiritual than me. He just doesn't know it yet. So it's like he's going through his own journey, and it's been happening to him very fast. So after about two or 3 months of him dedicating 3 hours a day, he said he was doing, he came to see me, and I was doing my own healing as well. And I just finished my root chakra cleanse. And when I saw him, I couldn't believe his energy, how much it shifted and changed. And I was in shock. I'm like, he has moved mountains. I could feel his energy even when he wasn't with me. It was the full moon the night before he came to see me, and I felt a shift. And we didn't talk that night, but for some reason I decided to stay here for 3 more weeks. There was something telling me, like, stay in New York for 3 more weeks. So he came over the next day, and I saw him, and I realized, wow, like he is actually potentially my boyfriend. It was like that.
We'll just take baby steps, my boyfriend.
Yeah, we'll say boyfriend, right?
Right.
So I'm like,
now, right?
yeah. And so I felt his energy so strong around me. And the only other person that I felt this with was my twin flame. Okay. Yeah. And I thought, well, if I'm going to meet somebody that I'm going to have a relationship with, get married, have a family, I want that feeling. I want the feeling that I can connect with this person on a spiritual level, a physical level, an emotional level, and have that grow. Yeah. And in that moment, I felt that connection so strong. Like we were one with the mountains, one with the universe, one with everything. And that's when it just sunk down and it hit me, and I'm like, this is it. This is it.
That's powerful.
And then when I went to Australia, because I had to leave the country, my 90 days was up. I was on like an ESTA visa waiver, which I'm still on. And so I had to go back to Australia, and Ryan came to visit me, and he came to stay with me and my grandparents in Melbourne. And before he arrived, I had done an interview online. So the story is that I moved in with him just before I went back, because I had had an extra 3 weeks to stay here, which means that I had time to spend with Ryan and do meditations and everything with him. So as soon as I moved in here, I was doing an audition for a musical, and I said to him on the phone, I said, well, can you manifest a TV? Because I need one for my rehearsals. Anyway, the next day I come with my bags and everything, and he's like, I don't know how you did this. I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, guess what? I said, what? He said, we have a TV. He said, we don't have anything else of furniture in the lounge room, but there's a TV for you.
Plenty of space to sing and dance to. And a chair for the audience. I'm sure he would be on. Wow, that's beautiful, man. That's fairy tale. That's really cool.
It was, and I'm dancing in. There's so many stories, but I'm dancing in the hallway in the lounge room. We've got full rehearsal studio in the living room, and then in the evening, so there was some negativity coming through me, and I could feel it, and I wanted to get deeper into spirit. So in my meditation, I did it by myself, and I lit 3 candles. And I set 3 intentions. And so I did one meditation with 1 candle first, with the intention. And when I felt like I was feeling, and my intention was to go deeper into my spiritual connection, like to go deeper into spirit. And so as soon as I wrote that intention and I lit that candle, something happened to me. And my whole body went into this relaxation mode. It's like someone pulled the negativity out of me from my head, and my body just went like this. And I just became like a vessel. And I started to feel a hand on the back of my neck moving my head down. And then I started to roll all the way down, and I could feel my back stretching. And as I got up, I could feel my head moving back. And I'm like, this is not me moving myself. I feel like this is spirit moving me.
Wow.
And then I started feeling my head moving like in this direction, and then up and down and all around. And I'm thinking, what is this? Like, this is awesome. And I felt like all these tingles in my body and these sensations. And so I'm then in the bedroom with Ryan, like afterwards, and I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking about it all. And then Ryan says to me that I told him the story, and he's like, that sounds like the Law of Attraction book. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, oh, have you seen? And then I realized he's reading Law of Attraction books. I'm thinking, whoa, I didn't realize he was doing that. And then he said to me, he said, it sounds like this woman. She said that, this woman was talking about how this spirit was moving her head around to give her messages.
Wow.
And I said, well, we need to listen to this. It was 11:30 at night. We went to go shopping. So we're in the car, and we put it on in the car, and we started listening to this interview. And, of course, it's Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks. And I was like, wow. And it was just before Thanksgiving that this happened. And their story, that it happened to her, the exact same thing just before Thanksgiving. So they told us this in the interview. They said, they got a Ouija board, they got all these things to try and find out whose message, like who's coming through. And so they started to write down questions. And then, so we tried that. So we started our meditations every day, and we got into it. And then I would start to feel this energy coming through and my head moving. But I couldn't figure out like what the letters were. I couldn't figure out what the messages were. To me, they just were shapes. They weren't letters. I was seeing spaceships. I was seeing stars. I was seeing all sorts of symbols. And then one day I said, all right, Ryan, you write down the questions and I'll answer them and see what comes through. So we did that, and all these answers came through, and it was so heavy and so intense that it scared us, and we stopped doing it. And we just stopped doing it. We're like, okay, that's enough now.
And so what you changed was he did the questions with you.
Yes.
Is that what you were saying? That's the
Yes. So
only thing. Wow, that's powerful.
yeah. So
That's powerful.
he wrote them down. I would answer them in this voice, and then I went back to Australia, and then he came 3 weeks later, and I started doing podcasts every day, these sexual healing podcasts. And I would sing and play the drum and record the singing bowl and talk about the sacral chakra and sexual energy. And when this woman who bought my book while I was here in New York, she must have been listening to my music or something I don't know what she was listening to be honest, but she contacted me directly, and she's a psychic medium.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, can I do a reading for you? She said, I have information for you and I'd like to give it to you. She said, for free. You know, she didn't charge me for it. She just wanted to give me this information that was coming through her very, very, very strongly.
Yeah.
So she then said that what she saw during the healing that I was doing with the music, she said she could see me as Gandhi, and then as a spiritual Indian woman, and she could see the snake, and she saw the hawk, which represents like the north, the ground. I can't remember what she said, but it was really, really powerful. And I thought, whoa, is this what I'm doing? Is this like the sounds that are coming through? And then she did another reading before Ryan came. I called Ryan Tommy on my podcast. I never told people who he was. So she always referred to him as Tommy, which was really sweet. And the way she spoke about him was like she knew him. It's like she knew him. And I knew that she wasn't a fake. I knew she was real. Yeah. And when she described Tommy the way that I do, and plus more, I knew that she was going to be able to tell us so much about what was going on with us.
Yeah.
And so she told us after about 3 or 4 readings of like 4 hours that Ryan and I we have a relationship that is eternal, and it's infinite, and it's beyond our physical of this life.
Yeah.
And that we go back, way, way back to the Native American Indian times, and we were in a tribe together. And that's when we made our contract that we would see each other in nearly every single lifetime. Yeah. And build on that. And so then the next reading was that Ryan and I are channeling a spirit called Saint Germain.
Yeah.
And that's who was holding my neck and moving me around. And she said the reason that he's doing that is so that I can learn the rhythm of the spirit energy and move through that, and then start to talk through that and feel through that. And whenever Ryan and I meditate together, it comes straight in, like straight in. When I do meditations by myself, it comes through, but not as strong as when it does when Ryan is there. So I know that he is, a collaboration in this. Like his soul and my soul, when it's together, creates this third thing.
Yes.
So it's still early days for us. We're learning about this energy, and so we go through funny times and challenging times, because Ryan is just learning about it, and sometimes he gets confused and he thinks I'm trying to control things, but it's not me. It's the energy and the universe that does crazy things around us, and I'm really used to just flying with it, and Ryan's not.
Yeah.
So
and so you're like the transmitter, which most, in my experience, most of the feminine they are, and you're talking about this third energy that basically is created by y'all.
Yes.
That's coming through you to communicate with you guys.
And our mission is to help people transit through the new dimensions that we're going through, and the new axis of the earth that's moving into the new dimensions. So it's about releasing toxins, anxieties, a lot about the sacral chakra. It's a lot of healing that needs to be done, and a lot of questions that are being asked, and we have the answers.
Wow. Are you guys gonna put this information out?
Yeah, we are. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for Ryan, to be honest, but I know that once I get the courage to do it too by myself, he'll follow. Like he'll do it when he's ready, you know.
Well, and if you guys need a place to do that, you know that we'd fully support that here.
Oh, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
That would absolutely
Well,
be incredible.
I think it would be incredible to hear. You know, I can relate, you know, because of Morgan and I can relate to a lot of what you're saying, really everything. And but it's nice to see it happening out there. It's kind of the same thing that we all went through. Where we're like the lady that was on earlier today. She said, I said, what's it like to see everybody expanding in consciousness on a collective level? She goes, oh my God, I'm home. And I turn on these shows and I see people I'm there. I understand it. But now you have these conscious unions coming together, creating this third energy, having this experience.
Sorry, I should have turned my phone
All right.
off.
Is that your latest hit? No, but you have these conscious unions, and they're creating this third energy. So it's creating all the math changes.
Yes.
You know, it all changes, but it's the same thing as in, oh my God, we're not the only ones. Oh my God, I understand what they're saying. So I think that would be a great thing to you know, for lack of a better word, publicize or expand awareness of in this format, because it's so raw and it's so fresh and real, you know.
I mean,
Yeah,
we'll be the
I'm
first
really
one
happy
to
for you.
see it.
Plus, you're holding space in New York City, so that's like, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm still yet to go into the city and reveal this, you know, to people. I'm still yet to do that. And part of my mission now, starting as of today, actually, is to go and do that, is to go out and actually say, hey, this is a new thing. I mean, I've been a bit scared to do it, to be honest, because it's so different to what other people are doing. You know, so I'm like, are people going to mock it? Are they going to, you know, so I've had to go through a lot of the head stuff and get out of that, you know, to actually say, okay, I'm ready to do this,
So,
you know.
Yeah, and how, I'm just curious because I'm totally aligned with you. I always am when we talk. You know, in a 3D, in action, you know, in the human, how do you see that happening? How do you see spreading that in New York City?
Well, I definitely see it being done in spiritual churches, like spiritual spaces.
Yeah.
I can see it done in the parks, outdoors. I can, because it's so loud when I do the drumming and the sounds. It's so loud, and every time I've stopped doing it inside because it just shakes and breaks and makes, and you know, does all these amazing things. But you know, a lot of the time people could be sleeping, or it just disrupts as well. I've been called to take it outside and offline so that people can come together, because a lot of things are online and we need to learn how to be human in a human way, like connect to each other without the internet, without having our phones. And so this time is going to be a gathering of people that will come together to ask the questions and also receive the healing.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Not even, I could see, you know, what we've moved into, not moving into, but we actually moved into.
Yeah.
I could see someone like you going to, or even someone like me, you know, going to a park, doing my expression the way I do, maybe some background music or dance, and you're doing you know, and in not explaining anything. And then the frequency pulling in people. Hey, what's going on? And then the telepathy's there. And, you know, just like a lot of healers, you know, talk about how they don't look for anybody. The people come to them and say, I need your help, you know, that type of thing. The other thing I think that's fascinating, and of course I'm always thinking in this vein, because these are the things that really light people up. Like, that's why I love this show. Or you know, like when I was in New York, I was thinking, you know, I did some stuff on the streets there, you know, and it was like kind of weird the first couple times, and then somebody walks by, hey, he's podcasting, man, and you know, and the people come around, and you get a little bolder, but that energy, especially where there's a lot of people, can pull in a lot of energy real quick, and that was really kind of cool, you know. I really liked it, so I'd love to like film something like that. But I agree with you, this stuff is happening on a local level, and I'd love to be broadcasting stuff like that. So, you know, if Ryan wants to put a camera in
Yeah.
his hand, he could just kind of like set one up, and we've done some field work like that. So there's a lot of possibilities. It's all about doing exactly what you're saying, exactly what we're doing, which is just to put these energies out there real time, no spit, no polish, and just let the frequencies attract what the like frequencies are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I feel like it's time for us to really get together and not label anything that's happening, not judge anything that's going on, and just accept what is happening and say, yep, this is what we're feeling. This is what we're going through. I'm not scared to take responsibility for my feelings and heal them, you know, because with sound frequencies, we have the choice to use them in a healing way. Yeah. So in my courses, I teach how to use the sound frequencies for healing for ourselves. Yeah. So, for example, with pain, when we have a pain in our body, I did a meditation with Ryan. He came back from the gym and he was really sore. And I didn't even use sound. I did not even use sound. It was completely coming through me from somewhere I could hear. And I just held the space for it, for him to be able to do it himself.
Yeah.
And so we did like a 30-minute breathing technique where he would breathe in the Holy Spirit energy. And then it came through. I said, you need to connect to Saint Germain. Ask him to help you release your pain. Now you have the Holy Spirit, you have Saint Germain, and you have your guides with you. So use this energy, connect with this energy, breathe this energy in and out, and release the pain. And within 30 minutes, his pain was gone, completely gone. And he said, I don't know what you did. I said, I didn't do anything. You did it.
That's right.
You did it. And this is the thing, we do it ourselves, and we are all capable of doing that. So yeah, it's incredible what we can do. So when we all come together to hear a certain frequency, you're going to feel it differently to the way I'm feeling it, because you're going through a different experience. So if you came, just say for example, you came into the gathering and you wanted to heal your sacral chakra, well, you just ask for it. You ask for it and you call it in and you say, I'm going to share and collaborate and co-create with this frequency, and I'm going to create with God, because God is the highest of the powers we can work with. We have all different energies coming through. Like we have, the star seeds, we have the Arcturians, we have so many different energies and entities helping us. But if we are to really get the center of the connection of the frequency, it's God. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's God. And there's nothing more powerful than that. And God is in all of us. Yeah. God is in all of us. And as soon as we can make that connection, we are 90% there. And the rest of it is just us kind of catching up.
And getting out of the way.
Getting out of the way. That's it.
That's that one, that's that thread. That's that that's the God substance, the God. I don't know. I love what you say too, because like in talking, what you were talking about with Ryan, and when he came back from the gym.
Yeah.
And again, thinking about, the work I do and thinking about, Morgan and I and the experiences we have. But what I love about what you're talking about in whether it's literally or metaphorically is it only takes one person to step out into that park, one person to step out into the virtual reality that's the internet or whatever it is. It only takes one. And then that frequency, that connection's made. It's a channel, basically.
Yes.
Just like you're talking about. And you put it out there, and it can look on the surface like a million different things. But if you resonate, and it pulls people in, it pulls souls in, and then that's where the healing, the magic, the alchemy all starts to happen. And like you were saying, it's that God element that's coming through, that common thread, and whatever the person needs, so to speak, they can tap into.
Yeah, exactly.
They can tap into. I remember I went to a church. It was the Mary Baker Eddy Christian Science or something like that, but not a traditional. It's kind of the progressive Christianity, like Ernest Holmes, that one, Science of the Mind. But anyway, I went in and they had this whatever you call it, sermon or whatever, I don't know what you call it. And so they had two people. They had one speaking scripture of the Bible, and then the other person would speak her interpretation. Right?
Yeah.
Mary Baker Eddy's the founder's interpretation. But one part of it, they were telling a story about healing, and then the other person was speaking the Christian Science version or whatever in translation, and it was a description like walking you through a healing, like physician heal thyself. And all of a sudden, I saw this gold energy, and this was years ago. This was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I saw this golden energy, and it was like, where do you want this to go? And I had a toothache, and I was like, direct it to my tooth. And I was not having multiple dimensional experiences or multidimensional experience. I wasn't having like divine episodes. And I watched that thing clear up that tooth, and it all went away. So
wow,
that's the kind of energy, though, that's what this energy is doing. But now it's like on a more expanded level.
Yeah.
And it goes back to two things today that I really want to take home for myself. And that is, it only takes one, obviously we're two or more gathered, certainly divine couples and that type of thing, but to drive it. And the other thing that you brought up about the fear, and about having the pregnancy come in and wanting to do, feeling the fire and wanting to do quote unquote risky things. There is no risk. The universe is going to reciprocate the heart of our intentions. So even if it doesn't look right, even if it doesn't make sense, you're still going to get the equal energy exchange. That's what the universal law is. And thank you for reminding me of that today, because I needed that kick in the ass.
Wow, you're absolutely welcome. Commitment to the unknown.
I did. I had an experience yesterday where things didn't work out as well as what we talked about before the show. Didn't work out the way I wanted, and I accepted it, but I was a little pissy. But now I can see that I've got to return to that track. That's the track I've been on. Yeah, that's the track that in a sense defies the world and cracks this matrix, and therefore opens up the magic for others. And it's just the analogy again of you going to the park, banging your drum, and then all of a sudden, here comes this, here comes that, and that's it, man. That's the magic. We just got to get out of the way.
Exactly. And a lot of the time, we're being called to do certain tasks by we can call it our master. Or I'll tell you a quick story. One of my mentors he became my mentor by buying my album Pictures of Mars, and I'm re-releasing the album this year because I feel like it needs a bigger release, And so when I released it like a year ago or maybe more, I didn't know how to market it right. So I just put it on my website at the time, and just a few people bought it. And so anyway, I looked online and I noticed someone went to buy the album, but they didn't finish the transaction. And like usually I would think to myself, oh, maybe they didn't want to buy it, but I got this feeling like I needed to contact the person, which I never do. Anyway, I contacted the person. I said, look, is this a transaction mistake on your end? Did you want to buy this album? If so, let me know and I'll put the transaction through for you, because maybe it didn't go through. Anyway, and at the time I was looking to find a lawyer for a particular thing that I needed to work on with this issue. So I was pretending to be the lawyer until I found one, And so I was getting into this mode where I was like really getting hard on this person and saying, right, you need to pay me and blah, 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 or I'll get my lawyer onto you. So anyway, that day, exactly the same day, this person buys my album, and he then writes back and he says, yes, I wanted to buy your album and it didn't work. The transaction didn't work. he said, by the way, if you ever need a lawyer, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, cool. So I wrote back to him, I said, well, actually, yes, I do need a lawyer. And so I ended up talking to him that day about that situation, and he bought the album. And he started to tell me that he has a spiritual connection and that he works on a spiritual level as a lawyer. And I'm like, gee, this is a new thing. Like, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
And he spoke differently to anyone I've ever heard. He had a different way of using his voice and the choice of words and the way he structured them. It was very strange. And it was so strange that I was so curious to know more about this person. And so I started to talk to him more, and he said to me, would you like to know about law? Would you like to learn how to defend yourself? Would you like to be mentored in this way? And I said, absolutely. I said, I would love that, you know. So he started teaching me about relationships in law and things like this and how to set up a business. And he taught me a lot of things.
Wow.
And he then said to me, you know, you deserve to have your own family. You deserve to have, you know, the things that you want. So this is how I'm going to show you how to do that. And he was the first person to, I guess, show me transferring, if that makes sense. Like it's like I'm able to transfer information to you.
Yeah.
If I want to. So if I'm in a meditation and I can pick up your energy.
Like merging.
Right.
Like yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which is, yeah, it's funny you said that, because I was just thinking about that earlier in the show when you were talking about something, and I thought, wow, that's cool. You know, I might like to do that, but like the human doesn't want to go through all the, you know, hours and hours of it.
Right.
And so, yeah, we can.
So
we're merging all the time.
If
right?
you said to me telepathically, I want to learn that.
Yeah.
When I go into my next meditation, I'm going to pick that up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send you, if I feel comfortable, of course,
Yeah.
and I feel an open channel and I feel like it's a trusted channel, what I do, and this is what he showed me, is that because he started transferring to me. And so he would transfer to me during my meditation. So sometimes I'd wake up, and it's very similar to what's happening to me at the moment. I would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and just feel like a need to do something, you know?
Yeah.
And then he would call. Like 2 o'clock in the morning, he would just call and he'd say, are you awake? And I'm thinking, how did he know that?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm in a different state as him too. Like we're not in the same country, same city.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how did he know that? Anyway, he said, what's happening during the meditation? How are you going with your healing? I said, oh, my hands. I said, I'm feeling energy coming into my hands and I'm starting to see this golden ball. And it was the same kind of thing. It was this golden ball. And I started to feel the sounds through the singing bowl. And this was before I did drumming. And so the sound was rising. Then I had to drop the singing bowl and use my hands to do this like Tai Chi almost, like I was moving the energy and I could see it. And he's like, okay, good, you got it, you got it. So basically he was sending me a message and I explained to him what it was. And then he said, okay, great, that worked. Like he wanted to know if these messages were coming through.
Wow.
It was very powerful.
That is
and
powerful. That was a powerful soul.
He's not from. Yeah. What were you going to say?
No, I mean that was a that was a powerful, important soul reunification or meeting that was.
Yes.
Obviously that was figured out before we came into the physical, but yeah,
absolutely.
That was and to be able to pick up on that is powerful. Is there anything that you want to share? And there's no, whatever, a prayer, any expression at all you want to share before we close this thing out today?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I would like to do some drumming. I just don't know how long it's going to go for. That's the thing. So like it could go for 5 minutes. It could go for 10. It could go for.
No worries.
How much time do we have?
We have another show. It starts in 55 minutes. I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm just going to let you go and let you do it as long as you want. In fact, I'm going to put you on the screen. Okay.
Yeah.
By yourself. All right. So if you want to get ready, we can do that.
All right, cool.
We got Annie. I didn't know. I thought you were
Oh.
we got Annie Zumo. Annie Zumo is going to be on in 55 minutes, and then 2 hours after that, McMahon that'll be our fourth show today. Yeah. Angel Divine says yes. Drumming, please. Thank you.
All right, I'm just going to tune the drum. And let you know a couple of things that have come through to me in terms of when it comes to our planets and solar connections, like with our solar systems. I have a strong connection with the planet Mars. And the mentor that I'm talking about, he was actually from there. And I had a feeling that he was. And when he told me, it wasn't a surprise at all. And the fact that my album is called Pictures of Mars, really, and I wrote that song Pictures of Mars when I was 26, so 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so basically we all have messages that we get given and we receive. And part of our soul journey, because it goes on eternally beyond this life, is that we all have a really strong connection when it comes to the planets and to Mars. And there's a lot of energies that are working with us to help us. And the fact that he came and he passed his baton to me and wanted me to share these messages with people. You know, he said to me, you know, this is what my message is to you. He said, I've been searching for this person to share this so that they can share it with others. And I had to go through my own journey and test the spirit, so to speak, to make sure that it was the right messages. So when we do receive messages, it's important to test them, and what he said to me is to test the spirit.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they can come in disguises. Yep. And so it's really important as us being healers and light healers to make sure that we're receiving and delivering the highest and best message for ourselves, for our loved ones, and just to be aware of that.
That's right. It's sovereignty is sovereignty. It applies in all dimensions. Hey, there's some guy named Ryan Joseph saying hi, Teresa Gauci.
Oh, so Ryan is Ryan Joseph, Ryan, my Ryan, and Teresa Gauci is my mom.
Oh, I wasn't even, but that's Ryan. That's your Ryan.
That's right? Ryan. That's Ryan Joseph.
I just told him congratulations, and hopefully we can twist his arm and get him on here and expand awareness of the work that y'all are doing and the beautiful love that you have.
Well, I'll have a chat to him after this, and I'm sure he would love to. You know, I think he was kind of getting ready for it on this one. He's like, should I get ready just in case?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Do you want to meet him?
Is he there?
Ryan, are you in the house?
Yeah, you in the house. Well, yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, yeah, but I definitely would love to do something with y'all soon, for sure.
All right, all right, let's do this. He might pop his head in during the time, so, okay.
Yeah.
Still not. It's a bit low. It's so funny how it just does that.
Hello, Teresa. That's your mom. Teresa's your mom?
Teresa's my mom.
Hello, Teresa. How you doing? Oh, wow. Ryan says, hi, Todd. Appreciate the love. Sending it right back to you and Morgan. Yeah, man. This is how it works.
I can hear footsteps. Do you want to have a quick hello before I do drumming? Okay, he's saying hello. Quick.
Let's see. Hello, Ryan. How's it going? Congratulations. Congratulations on your marriage and on the baby and on the expansion. And we look forward to getting you guys on here together if you're up for it and expanding awareness of what you guys are doing and the beautiful love that y'all have.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Honored to be here. Just saying hello right now. I know we're ready for the drumming, so not trying to steal the show, but so much love and blessings back to you and Morgan and the whole troop. So looking forward to next time for sure.
All right, man. You take care.
I'm going to sit here for the drumming as well.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Okay. All right, I think that's good. How does the drumming sound for everyone?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so during this meditation, I'd like everyone to surround themselves with white light just to prepare themselves, ground themselves, and just start to feel the feet on the ground. So really start to ground your energy. And through this process, I'll be doing a grounding, moving through all the chakras. The focus at the moment is for the sacral chakra, so I'm going to focus on the sacral chakra, but know that you're in control of the meditation and that you're co-creating with God and with your guides during this process, so that you have the choice to choose where you would like to move the healing through the body, where you would like to feel the vibrations. If you have a pen and paper, you can write it down. You can say, dear universe, dear God, please heal my pain in my bottom leg, in my butt, in my leg, whatever you want to say. And then just release, let go, and surrender. And just like Todd said, get yourself out the way and get ready for it. I have no idea what's going to come out. This is the first one I've done in like 2.5 weeks. So enjoy it, relax, put some headphones on, and here we go. Take a deep breath in through the nose and hold it. Hold it. Imagine that white light moving through every inch of your body, and now exhale out through the mouth. And we call in the brotherhood of light and the 4 elements. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Raziel, and Archangel Gabriel, the earth and the fire, and the air and the water. As we ask God to bring us together for healing, for good, positive energy, to release anything that no longer serves us as we work with the highest vibrational frequencies of love and light only. As we protect ourselves by imagining white light around us, shield yourself and keep your crown chakra open for receiving. Ground yourself into the ground by taking a deep breath in again through the nose, expanding the lungs, opening the chest, opening the heart, and hold it here for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And we do one more breath, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out through the mouth, releasing, grounding. As we ask God to bring our sacral chakras, connecting into our root chakra, and anything else the Brotherhood of Light would like to work with us. As we move deeper now into the meditation. Feel the rhythm of the drum in your body. Become one with the drum. Become one with my voice. Become one with the co-creator of life. Let's all breathe in the rhythm of the drum at the same time. We're going to breathe in for 5 and out for 4. And hold for 3. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, and out. 2, 3, 4. Start to deepen the breath and ground yourself. Relax the neck, relax the head, relax the eyebrows. Bring yourself back down. I'm going to sing a grounding, healing meditation quickly, just to get your feet on the ground. It's important to feel the earth and feel the rhythms of the earth and your connection to the rhythm of the earth. We are all one rhythm of the earth. The more that we connect to this rhythm of our heartbeat as one, can you feel that? Yes.
Yes.
And you can do this out loud if you like, or just in your mind's eye, but we're going to sing to close down now. Breathing in, whatever note that comes, release on go. Feel your skin, feel your fingers, feel your eyelids. Okay. Let me get my headphones back on.
Wow. That was amazing. That was freaking amazing, man. I can't wait to get over to New York. Me and Morgan get over to New York, man. We'll have to do something.
So awesome.
I love collaborating. I just, when I was traveling, I loved just turn on some music, or someone had a guitar or a flute, and and you just start doing whatever's there. But God, it'd be cool. New York's our biggest community, I think, by double over London, which is the second. It's just like there's a lot of people there. Yeah, well, it's a powerful place. I loved when I was there.
It is very powerful.
It really is. It's huge. I think in a way it's like the heartbeat of the world. Not so much,
wow,
but like the living library part of the world. Because everything, because that's how it works. I mean, whatever looks like it's up, it's down, and whatever's left is right. I mean, everything is the opposite. So, but yeah, I love the energy there. Well, thank you so much. I'd love to collaborate. I look forward to collaborating with you more and more and more. I'd love to get some of that, what you just did on wow, produced, man. That's just powerful. And play with it and remix it, yeah. I mean, I've done some stuff with other types of things like that, and I have a feeling I'm gonna start doing a lot more producing on that side of it, on that side of Soulogy, with the music and video productions or whatever. But thank you so much, and congratulations to both of you again.
Thank you.
You guys have a huge light together. Thank you for all the work that you guys are doing, because even on a personal level, it's impacting the entire world. And yeah, just let me know if you guys want to do something the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll be up for that. Sure.
Whatever resonates. Yeah, just yeah, hit me up and I'll get right back to you. I'll send you a link. You can just go to the calendar and pick whatever you want.
Sounds
Oh,
great. Sounds awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your love and light every single day. Oh, that is so weird.
See, every time we get off, weird stuff starts happening.
Oh my God. My screen has completely gone blank.
That's we can see you. It's very dark. You take care.
Yeah,
all right. You take care. I'll see you. See you later, Ryan.
Yeah. Goodbye.
See you later, Teresa Gauci. Everybody else. We'll see you on 28 minutes with Danny Zumo. And we'll see Natalie again and Ryan.